Hey guys, welcome back. This is Lucid. We're jumping back into Bumble Rumble, where I'm playing middle-aged Atlantis. It's turn 55. And let's see what that holds for us. I've got 2 turns to do. So, if you recall the end of last episode, I said we are aiming to get Nexus up reasonably early. And to do that, we are going to need a lot of pearls, which we do not currently have. So, we did end up trading for them. And the way I did this was I just asked a bunch of different people what kind of gem they need. And if they had it, then I would trade them for pearls. So Agartha needed earth, and so I gave him 45 earth gems, and he gave me 45 pearls. And then Shinuyama needed death, and I gave him 40 death gems, and I got 40 pearls. So, kind of cool. This has gotten us a long way towards getting ready to casting Arcane Nexus. We do see a dire portent come up this turn, and this is really important. We see, basically... Oh wait, no, this is actually not important. This is just Eye of the Gods. Next turn we actually have another dire portent. Because I've got that, that's my current turn. But yeah, that was Eye of the God coming up, which is like, whatever. And then, let's go through all these. So we cast Arcane Probing, didn't find anything. Arcane Probing, didn't find anything. Mother Oak. Okay, so we tried to put this up last turn, and turns out it didn't work. So I think we put 90-something into it, almost 100. Which is oftentimes good enough to take over the first global, or the first time it's cast, but we weren't successful. So what this is going to mean is we're probably going to give up on Mother Oak. Mother Oak doesn't give you a ton of gems, it only gives you 10. And putting in far more than 100 is, unless you really need to deny it from the other player, which in this case I don't, is kind of a waste. So we might put it up if man gets killed or this global goes down, but otherwise I think we're going to give up on that. Dark Knowledge didn't find anything. Dark Knowledge, we found an enchanted tomb here. Okay, so another death. A Voice of Tiamat didn't find anything. Augury didn't find anything. Voice of Tiamat didn't find anything. Voice of Tiamat didn't find anything. Auspex. Voice of Tiamat, nothing. So bad turn for site searching. Which is kind of what happens when you site search other people's lands, which is kind of what we're doing. So, I think I lied to you last turn. I had said I'm not gonna roll the dice because I'm tired of my thugs dying. But then I thought about it, and I thought how greedy I am. And after that reflection, I decided, let's roll the dice. Let's risk dozens of gems worth of thug gear. You know, for the paltry hopes of owning a 100 gold province. And that is exactly what we did here. And it turns out in this case to have been worth it. The next battle we are also raiding this province. Sorry, it's like the middle of the day, I've got the yawns too. Who is this? Are we naming these people? We should be. Shamem. I don't actually know. That might be a subscriber name. I'm not sure. Okay. This guy will chew through PD. So, okay, we were successful. So, in this case, it was worth it. Okay, coming down here, a prospector's genius has found a small gold deposit plus 940, or 940, 394. Then we get 7 nature gems. We get a bunch of unrest and cursed, and we got a temple on an island, which is nice. I like island temples. In 3 months, the stars will be right for alterations. Now, I knew this, but I was kind of thinking I probably should have waited to cast Mother Oak for the 3 months. That probably would have been a lot smarter. Would have saved me like 10 gems, and then I would have had more, but whatever. Hindsight's 2020. It would have potentially meant a lot more turns without Mother Oak up. But anyway. Okay, so that's basically it. You know, we've got, if you recall last turn, or last episode, Yis fell, finally. Not Yis, Pelagia, after a very long final defense. And we've got some things that have happened. One is Pangea has died now. So Pangea has permanently been vanquished. At the end, Yis had kind of taken over Pangea's cap and pushed out all their dominion. And their last dominion was here in this little fort, and then it got preached out, I think, by Ulm. So, what I want to do, I'm kind of contemplating attacking Ulm, but okay, so I thought about sending in Mr. Hands to kill this army. But I decided not to, because I don't really want to fight Ulm. Instead, I'm going to move all my guys in here just to get access to this, and I'm going to send him a message saying, we need temporary access to this land to access the Yisian Lake efficiently. We would have told you of this need sooner, but wouldn't want you speaking with Yis to give him more turns to prepare, as you can take this province back the turn you receive this. And then I sent him another message saying, actually, if you could wait one turn to take it back, would be much appreciative. What I'm expecting is Ulm's going to storm this fort, and then, we'll take this, and he can move his army back, and then we'll be able to move in and attack his this throne. And I'm basically bringing everybody. I'm not really scripting anything, just doing Strength of Giants. Friendly Currents isn't really on. I haven't really scripted this army. I'm not expecting to fight much. But there's still a big war to be had with Yes, and I can't really move terribly quickly yet, because I can't really get that many troops. We are going to be storming Pangaea right here, so we're scripted to Acid Storm, so we'll be seeing that in action for the first time, hopefully next turn. And we're going to continue raiding. We're going to move here and raid, and we're going to move here and raid, and life will be good. Okay, what else? I think that's mostly it. You can see our Dominion is going crazy. I'm going to show you our Dominion score graph real quick. It's just going nuts right now, right? So, I mean, it's going up and up and up. Part of that is because we're Dominion Shrink 10, so we can get 10 candles in our provinces now. The other part is we're preaching like crazy. We are getting our Dominion everywhere, and that's helping our income a lot, because as we get our Dominion in, we start getting benefit from our positive scales. And, yeah. So that is all very good. We're preaching here. We're also site-searching Holy wherever I can, because you can see I haven't done a great job. So I'm trying to remember to do that. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. Let's see if there's anything else. We see TC has a big army right here, and I'm not sure what they're doing, but we're going to definitely make sure Iago is still patrolling. I've also given Iago a buddy, Theabios, and they are going to be chilling out right here, basically just doing Acid Storm, in case this guy gets frisky. And I don't want to nap him. I probably could, but I don't want to, because at some point I may need to attack him, and if I attack him, I would like to attack him without having to end a nap. That's kind of my thinking. And if I'm worried about him attacking me and my Dominion, not really. I mean, I've got Mr. Hands, and Mr. Hands don't give a F. Okay. So I think that's mostly it. Do I have any trades going out? No, not really. I sent a message to Is asking what happened to that Phaeacian army. There was a big army from Phaeacia here, if you recall, and they'd also taken this, and it's now gone. I don't know what happened. Yeah, so we'll have to figure that out. I can't think of anything else in particular. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think this is mostly it for this turn in terms of the goings-on. We're doing more site-searching spells. Big objective, right, in terms of research. We're going for Enchantment 9. And by the time we get it, we can probably drop a reasonably high-powered Arcane Nexus. And I think high-powered, I think we're going to need 500 pearls. But we're getting 45 water gems a month. And yeah, I think we're just going to pour all that shit in there. Okay. So, anyway, I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and pull up the next turn, which is my current turn. I haven't really finished it or submitted it, and so I need to do that. So we will do this part together. So a message has arrived from Olm. Please stay in the sea because I see your attacks from a mile away. Which is funny because I attack him, but not really this turn. And then we're casting... Oh yeah, because we've given up on Mother Oak, we are now spamming out Vine Ogres. Vine Ogres are going to be extremely good with our Acid Storm strategy. We cast Dark Knowledge, didn't find anything. Dark Knowledge, didn't find anything. A Dire Portent. Tian-Chi, Shining Boat of Heaven, God of Death and Rebirth. The undeceivable god has cast a global enchantment, but it doesn't say what it is. Celestial Rainbow. I was going to put this up myself later. Okay, so this is going to be tricky for me to cast, but I can cast it. And the thing is, it's a water global. I'll show it to you. So the thing is, this is so hard to cast because you need very high water and nature, and there's no real chassis that can cast this with any items in the game unless you have these on your Pretender. The Naiad is the closest in paths. You get Water 3, Nature 3. But unless you have a Robe of the Magi, a Ring of Wizardry, and then all the other boosters, you can't cast it. And I have all that, but I don't have the Robe of the Magi. So for me to cast it, I need to empower a Naiad in water, and then I can cast it. Now what does it do? Well, it's going to give you a bunch of gold from basically finding pots of gold. You'll get pots of gold events. And in addition, it will block spells from targeting things in your dominion. And it's the only kind of spell blocking, like shield, because you have like the domes, etc. There's basically a dome on all your provinces, but it only will block enemy spells. So that's kind of cool. It's the only way to do that. Normally if you put a dome up, it'll block your own stuff. But yeah, so we're close to that in research. It's water. Our water is 49 now a turn, which was 45 a hot minute ago, so we obviously got 4 more water. Let's figure out where that came from real quick. Where the hell did that come from? That must have been from raiding more lands, is what that came from. So yeah, we'll be able to cast it. Now, to cast it also, we are going to need to contact a Naiad. And I can actually get on this part of the mission this turn, and maybe I should. Maybe I should. We've got Home Slice down here. Do we have a Robe of the Sea, or whatever it's called? Let's scroll through real quick. For those of you who don't know, you hit F1 to bring this menu up, and then you hit Tab to toggle between showing the details or not. And then I'm just scrolling down and looking in the item section right here for a Robe of the Magi. I don't see it. I mean, a Robe of the Sea. To cast it, I'm going to need one of these, either a water random, which I don't think I have. Yeah. So I'm going to need either a water random, which I don't have, or I'm going to need a Robe of the Sea and a water bracelet. So I think we're going to start gearing up for that. We're going to go ahead and get a Naiad. I think I can summon the Naiad. Well, let's see. I think I can summon underwater. Yeah, we can. The spell I'm going to want them to cast is this one. And I don't know if this cannot be cast underwater. So I probably want to cast this on land. Maybe I just cast it here and she can chill out. We got a death random one of these, by the way, which is nice because the death water cross path is a nice one to have. Potentially we can do Streams of Hades later. Okay. Let's finish going through all the events. So, Mr. Kraken got attacked by a Mind Slime Horror, or Mr. Hands. And these guys are kind of sick. They have Astral 5, so they can Soul Slay you. Fortunately, our MR is pretty high, so we'll be pretty resistant to that. Yeah, so he got kind of beat up. Okay, we are raiding here. It's about 10 PD. Chop, 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 chop. Okay. And then that was successful. This was maybe like 20 PD. This was a fair amount. Coming down here. We're attacking Ulm. Okay, now unfortunately for me, Ulm has moved his army back. I don't know if he was thinking I would attack, or what he was thinking. But what sucks, this would be fine, but what sucks is I didn't script for this. Like, I had no idea it was coming. I was almost sure he would stand there and storm the fort. But I guess if there's nothing inside, there's no reason for him to storm it with everybody. So what's happening is my troops are kind of getting mauled by Ulmish troops. And, yeah. But I'm making a lot of ice elementals, and those are stomping the shit out of his guys. Okay, so that was a big freaking disaster, is what that was. We lost 63 of our dudes, which, you know, like, these guys are expensive, right? 25 gold, that's... So if we lost 50... Let's say, okay, yeah, we lost 50 about, including the Mother Guard. And so that's... like 1,000, what, 400 something? I don't know. It's a fair amount. 1,300 something gold. Okay, now... Ulm lost about the same amount of gold. And then he probably lost a bit more in the retreat. But this... I needed this frickin' army. Like, this army was gonna take this Yisian province. So now I'm kind of in some shit. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's get through the rest of it. So that was this battle. Yis attacks me here. Let's see what he's got. He's got just some druids, who I guess are doing Legions of Steel, and then Strength of Giants. How much do they hit for with Strength of Giants on? 20? That's not bad. So he lost one dude. And then we have a battle where we are attacking Yis. Now, Yis has a big horde of knights inside. Right? So it's about 50 knights. These guys are also expensive. We'll go check after the battle. I can't remember how much knights are. They're like 40 gold or something. They're not cheap. They could be 25. I think they're 40. So this is a fair investment from Yis. Unfortunately for him, we are casting Acid Storm. Now, unfortunately for me, I don't have Mass Regen or anything researched, which you really kind of need when you put this up. Now, this may not look that scary to you, but over time, Acid Storm is going to murder almost everything. Given enough time, you will get murdered by Acid Storm. Okay, this guy got caught on fire by the fire elemental. Probably not great placing. And then they're just coming in to burn up my other dudes. So this was not a good plan. We need to not do that anymore. Yeah. Probably is going to kill this guy too. Is this guy going to die? Yeah, I think so. Oh no, he didn't. Ooh, that was close. So we killed them all. Unfortunately for us, we lost some dudes. We lost one King of the Deep, which sucks. We lost the Mother Guard, not great. And then we lost 13 War Shamblers. So, kind of a nuclear weapon, right? A sword with no hilt. We did a fair amount of damage to us. But we're going to be able to trade cost efficiently. And we can... These guys behind PD are nasty. Very nasty. So... Did we go through all these? We did. Events, we got some gold, some earth gems, and then lost some tax. And, yeah. That's what's happening. So... what now? This is my current turn. I haven't finished it. and I'm not totally sure what we're going to do. So there's a few things. Well, let's go through what they are. One of the problems is we really need to put Nexus up. Now let's go count exactly how many turns until we get Nexus. So in one turn, we will be at Enchantment 8 with a fair amount of progress, 700 progress about to Enchantment 9. Now, Enchantment 9 is, if I recall, like 3,700. So we'll have 700 of the way. And we'll be 700 of the way there. So it'll be 3,000 basically to go. So that's an additional 2 turns. So I think it's 3 turns until we have Nexus researched. To cast it, so in 3 turns, where will it be? We'll have 60 more pearls. So this will be at 240. And we will have 150 more. We'll have 200 of these, which we could convert into about 100 more pearls. So then we'll be at about 360. Not enough. Not enough is the short summary here. Not enough. Now, what that means is a few things. One is it means... okay, so I have options. One is I could try to trade my Earth for... I could try to trade more Earth and Death for pearls. I think those are all good things to do, because trading with Shiniyama is basically going to be, just by geography, they are locked into conflict with TNG, I think. And Agartha, who I would also be trading with, who I always forget where they are, but they're also going to be kind of locked into conflict. So anything that gives them better value is going to be good for me. So I think that's my first option, is trade these. The other option is I go to Evocation 9 pretty much as soon as I can. And once I have Evocation 9, I don't alchemize water gems. I just steal this from TNG. Now, ideally, like, this would be a play too, is like, one turn, I put up Arcane Nexus, right? And then the turn after, I spend a bajillion gems on... Actually, that might be the better play. Because if I get Nexus up and then the next turn I do... what do you call it? I steal this from him, I'm going to get a reimbursement on the gems I spend to cast Celestial Rainbow. So maybe I time it where I don't leave much time for them to dispel Nexus, and then I do it the turn before I plan on stealing Celestial Rainbow. You don't get gems for the turn you put Arcane Nexus up. Now, if I do that, it will be a little longer, because I'll have to do this and Evocation 9. Now, the good news is I'm getting Evocation 8 this turn, and what that means is that I can now do Mass Regen. So I want to have, I think, let's see what I'm going to need for Mass Regen. So you need to be Nature 3, and you need to have 3 Nature Gems. So basically it's going to have to be one of my Nature randoms. But you know, how long until I have Ivy Kings? Maybe it makes sense to go ahead and get Ivy Kings, because I think I'm going to be gem limited in terms of being able to do Nexus and then that. So I think I might make a pit stop real quick. Oh shit, it's not cheap though, going to Conjuration 7. I want the Ivy Kings though, I want them bad. I think this is what we're going to do. I want those Ivy Kings, because I want them trumping around with my Acid Storm armies with the a Cornucopia, and then I might make them... The other nature booster you can get, and this is in Lucid's Thematic Gym Gen, is a fairy in a bottle. And I might give them one of those. Kind of cool item if you haven't seen it before. -2 morale, because the fairy is constantly begging for her freedom. But she provides air and nature gems. So we won't be able to use the air, but the nature will be super useful. Because that will allow an Ivy Lord to basically be dropping... or you know what? Ivy Lord is... We could do just a Thistle Mace. Yeah, that'll probably be better. So an Ivy Lord with a Thistle Mace and a Cornucopia can do Mastery Gen. Yeah. I think that's what we'll do. I think in the meantime... Well, I kind of... So... Okay, those are the research priorities. Now, in terms of what do I want to do, I want to take this fort and I want to take this fort. This fort may be Facies. I'm not sure if we're going to take it. I also want to get this one. I want to get all of this shit, but I have to prioritize. I want to get this first. And I think what I'm going to do is pull another army down here to go for this one. So, like, this army is going to shift up, and I need to think about pulling, like... You guys on you. Y'all are gonna come down and meet up here. And we're getting a few guys a turn here, which are gonna come up this way. I think that's the play. We are continuing to scout the very large TNG Empire. I think here we are gonna cast Auspex somewhere, which seems fine. Here, we're gonna forge something. What should we forge? This is a super useful Enchantress too. It gives me lots of cross paths. Like, we can do rainbow armor, which is the shit. This is really good armor. Like, this might be what I put on the Ivy Lord. Just getting the reinvigoration would be nice. And because he has high HP, getting the MR boost will be nice too. Might as well go ahead and make that. We'll need to make a Cornucopia at some point. Maybe I have the gems to make one of those as we speak. Not sure. Do I have a hammer lying around? I have lots of hammers lying around. Holy shit. See, now you built too many. Oh, we're gonna have to be higher in nature. But we have one of these, so we'll just put this on. Oh, do we have the other kind? We do. Let's take the super expensive one off in case something horribly, unguessably tragic happens. Okay, so we've got a Cornucopia now. Having one army that can do mass regen, Acid Storm, and just keep dropping it is going to be huge. The other thing I'm going to want is I'm going to want to have Choral Blades, I think, on everybody. All of my leaders. So, how many Choral Blades do I have? That's a question. I only have a few. Let's go ahead and put these on all these folks over here. Everybody gets a Coral Sword. Now this army is going to go ahead and move up this way. And this army is going to come in here. Now I've scripted this for some things. Basically we're doing Foul Vapors, everybody's on Guard Commander. That's going to be the plan. And we're going to spam out some Water Elementals. The other thing we're going to do, and we're not doing it yet, but by the time we go storm inside the fort, I'm going to make sure we have some gems on this guy that he's going to ferry over into this, and then we'll take that. That's the plan. This guy is going to raid back this way, and I think we'll be okay. Yeah. He's doing Breath of Winter. Okay. Here we are continuing to raid. I need to put a little PD here. 5. Yeah, this is part of what gave us that additional... Yeah, we've got These two provinces are super valuable for water income. Highly likely they raid here, but they've got a ton of Viasian druids, which is a little scary. If they raid here with a big army, it would be kind of cool to do a trap. Like, I thought about doing a trap. That's, I think, what I have set up. I have a guy coming here to do a trap, and I have a ton of PD behind it. It's a little risky. Sometimes you have to risk it to get the biscuit. Think we might do it. Think we're gonna do it, guys. We're gonna yellow really freaking hard this turn. Got a fair amount of PD I've dumped. I'm gonna put Acid Storm behind it, and that's just how that's gonna be. Now, if they raid this one, we don't really have much here, which is fine. We're gonna continue raiding down this way. What are we gonna do this way? Now, okay, let me just say, I haven't tested it. I don't know how well it could go, but Yis can do counter-thugging with Magic Phase, Cloud Trapeze thugs, and I think his thugs are better than mine. So with the right gear, I'm pretty sure he could kill these guys with Cloud Trapezing thugs. We're YOLOing a little hard. Maybe too hard. I think this guy needs to sit. I don't think I want him to. I think he's gonna chill out. Because I'm gonna need, potentially, to have somebody stay behind here and like to do a PD dump. Now I've got a lot of Vine Ogres that are coming out, and these guys are going to be really good in conjunct. Like ideally, I would have this guy with a bunch of Vine Ogres that is coming out here to do the little trap, but we don't. I think we're going to go make a few more Choral Blades. Okay, maybe we make a couple. I feel like we're being a little cheap on the Choral Blades. We're spending a fair amount of our water gems, so I don't know if all the calculus I've done in terms of gems is fair or correct. Astro 3, that's kind of nice. Who was all here? A Yizian Druid. Did any of these have Astral? Because if they didn't... You can definitely... I don't know if I want to mind hunt them. I might be okay then running around. I don't know if that's valuable enough for me to mind hunt. How much... This province is worth nothing. It's all unrest, probably. But having Pangea is really nice too. It gives us 5. I mean, it's basically like half of having Mother Roko, just having Pangea. So our nature income's pretty good looking. I mean, our gem income is phenomenal right now. Like 50 water gems is huge. 20 pearls is pretty huge. Oh, I remember what I was going to do. We were potentially going to take a Stellar Focus. The thing is, let's do some calculus, right? Or calculations, it's not calculus. If it's 3 turns until we get Arcane Nexus, and then after that if it's another... Oh wait, no, it's gonna be way longer, because it's... Oh yeah, this is gonna be way longer. Shit. I like totally... for some reason my math was just horribly off when I was calculating how far it's gonna take to get to 9. We're probably like 5 turns here. So we probably by the time we get Enchantment 9, we'll be able to put up Arcane Nexus. If it's 5 turns and I get 5 gems per turn from Stellar Focus, that would be 25. I think I do want to control Stellar Focus. Do I do it now? I think I might. Where's my little cure-all elixir, I wonder? It better not have gotten destroyed. Did I miss it, seeing it here? Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom. I don't think I want Mr. Hands to do the global, even though he would do it better. I think we just have this guy do it. Okay, this will snipe Stellar Focus. And then after that, it's not going to pay itself off in time, I don't think, for Arcane Nexus. Arcane Nexus is probably going to be... My calculations were wrong, right? Because it's going to be 8,000 to get to the final level. I don't know why I was thinking it'd be so little. It's going to be 1, 4... It's going to be 5 turns. I think it's probably still worth stealing Stellar Focus. If for no other reason, then it's going to decrease the gem pool available to other people to dispel. I need to get it up fast. Yeah. Do I like... I'm not sure if that's the right move, though. Like, this could also not work. If it doesn't work, I'm really screwed. I think we're going to let him hold on to it for a little longer. Okay. I think that's mostly it for this turn. Mr. Hands isn't doing anything. I don't think... Let's see if there's anything Mr. Hands could do. This is probably horribly enemy dominioned. I mean, we could kill it. The problem is if I get attacked by horror as an enemy dominion. I could go... Let's go back and see what dominion this was. When I owned it, we'll be able to tell. If it's like 3 enemy dominion, I might be okay with that. It would be worth killing that whole army for 3. No, sir. We are not going there. 8 enemy dominion. Let's see if there's any other opportunities for Mr. Hands. Now the other option, we haven't made a nap with Ulm. They sent us a message in Discord that said that we can do a nap 3. They'll let me like use it for a few more turns to do a nap 3. A nap does not offer me many benefits, but like taking this and this and this and this would offer me a lot of benefits. But I'm not ready to do it right now because all my shit's dying. I think in like a big metagame sense, the question is, can I eat Yes and Ulm fast enough that I get like an equivalent power to TNG? The good thing is because I boarded them, I can at basically any time initiate war. Like if I didn't border them, I would, and because I think they're like reasonably close to kind of winning. They're probably ahead of me. So I think the issue is, like if I didn't border them, I would have to make longer range plans, but right now I can kind of wing it. I do need to think about starting to get more, like a bigger army, if you will, over here. Like more dudes. We don't really have that many dudes. But I'm hoping having just a big scary army here, like a bunch of different troops, will keep him from attacking other people. Because really, I need to eat while he doesn't, is kind of the thing. Okay, anything for Mr. Hands to do? I don't think so. This is really bad enemy dominion. This is probably really bad enemy dominion. We're not building a temple here. We're moving in somebody who can build a temple. This guy. Yeah. I think that's mostly it. Yeah. We probably want to have at least one PD there. And we're moving somebody in here with, I think, some reinforcements. If we get attacked here, maybe we just put these guys on retreat. Because we're going to lose, and I would rather just have them run. And this guy got one of the random crosspaths, too. He's Air Astral. We're upgrading these. Not sure if that was a great use of gold at a time when I really needed it. We're preaching here. We're moving... Okay, so we site searched here. We didn't find anything. We're moving him here. We're going to start preaching. You can see our dominions very quickly starting to fill up this portion of the lake. We're still preaching here. I think we are done getting... Oh, no, we're not. Let's take you off. We've got plenty enough priests now, so let's get one of you. Pelagia is capable of making a lot of these. Getting a lot of shamblers, which is going to be very, very important. We're going to need a lot. Okay, so let's go through the timings, because again, this is really important. This turn we finish enchantment 8. But we'll also contribute 700 to Conjuration. Next turn we'll have Conjuration finished. We have enough nature income, we should be able to get an Ivy King. With that Ivy King, he can be part of our army. We're already making a Cornucopia. We've got Thistle Maces lying around. We can give him a Thistle Mace and a Cornucopia, and he'll be able to every single turn, and a Rainbow Armor. Every single turn, he will be able to drop Mass Regeneration. In conjunction, we'll also make a Cthulhu staff or something, right? For doing, well, maybe we won't, because we need pearls. But we'll be able to drop Acid Storm basically all the time. The only thing we don't have, and this will be kind of important, is we are also going to need some kind of protection. And we are heavily, heavily delaying it. We're getting to 9 in enchantment and evocation before we are getting something like Army of Gold or Lead or whatever, which is very important when you're doing Acid Storm. It does not make you immune to it, but it makes you very resistant. But so does Mass Regen. Anyway, that's what we're dealing with. I think that's the right call in terms of priorities. I have done it before where I researched other things at the expense of alteration, and it's often a mistake. But we're going to make that same mistake again. I think we put most of our research... Oh, no, we haven't. There's a research item. If you're min-maxing, you put your path boosters to get additional research, but I forget to take them off and forget where I put them. So we're not going to do that. Nowhere for Mr. Hands to go. He could go here. Not worth it. Thing is, the more turns he's out, he can be sniped. I mean, he can stealth away. He can't really be sniped. Unless I'm really irresponsible. Oh man, I kind of want to eat Pythium too. There's so many people I want to eat, but I don't have enough money or armies. The other thing I'm going to need later, and I won't be able to get it now, but when I fight TNG, he's going to have air access, so he can do things like mass flight with a bunch of cavalry. So we are going to need Fairy Court so that we can do Staff of Storms, or whatever you want to call it. Our air income is bad. It's our worst, aside from Blood Slaves. Oh, that's the other thing we gotta do. We got 50 Blood Slaves. Time to start a blood economy. I think we're going to do it here. Now, there's some argument to make for making this person a blood hunter. The death is going to potentially put in line vampires, so maybe it's better to do it here with this one. I think we're going to do it here with this one. I'm going to need some chaff to patrol, which I don't have right now. I think we'll need wolves. I don't know if that's really a priority at the moment. I don't really have any of the chaff I need to do the blood hunting. Okay, so I think the priorities are make sure we're not getting any more priests. We have all of our priests' itches scratched. missing recruiting a mage there. And then build up armies. We need men to break through fort walls. Got a lot of Ysian infrastructure to take. The other thing is, when we get 7, we're gonna get living castle. So if I'm gonna have I have a pretty huge nature income, right? 23. So like early objectives are gonna be like 2 Ivy Kings, each with a Cornucopia and a Thistle Mace. And so that's gonna be a few turns of nature production. After that, I think we're gonna be spamming out living castles. We've got a fort under construction up here. It is still a long way away. We're gonna preach this up. What is this at? We're at 8 here. What is this? 7? We're doing a good job on Dominions, guys. Dominion scores through the roof. Now, there's also a thing we need to consider. We've got a few other, like, pretty strong astral nations. We've got Pythium, who's an astral powerhouse. Tianchi, who does pretty good in astral. Marignon's kind of crushed. Bandarlog's kind of crushed the other major astral nation. So it's mostly them, but there's a chance that one of these guys is making an Arcane Nexus play too. And like, Pythium had Stellar Focus up for a long time, and that means they also went reasonably high in enchant reasonably early. So there's a good chance they are making a play for it pretty soon. Yeah. So we'll see. I really want to get it off first. Okay. And I think that's it for this turn. We've got Thug Orders in here, Thug Orders in here. We've got a trap over here. I think we're actually going to move him further forward. That way the PD's around him. If they're on attack rear, they won't really come in and hit me. Anything else? What type of PD do we have here? It's a bunch of shit. It's going to rout. That's okay. This stuff's going to rout too. Now, I don't know what else. There's some risk here. I think this is the most risky part. Foul Vapors, but we're summoning a bunch of water elementals, or not really. Friendly Currents. Bunch of water elementals. I want them earlier in the script. Let's... Yeah, I'm glad I came back and looked at this. This is not a very good script. Okay. That will work. Okay. This is what we got. I think this will be enough to take whatever he's got here. So I think that's it. And I kind of don't want to make a nap, because so far I haven't made any naps this game. And I would really like to win a game without any naps. I don't think I've made any naps. No, I haven't. It's turn 56 and 0 naps. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys for watching and putting up with me as I ramble on. And hope to see you in the next episode.